Evaluate the limit, as x tends to 0, of 6 to the x minus 7 to the x all over 4x. So if we try to just sort of naively plug in and see what happens, because a lot of the parts of this are nice and continuous around 0, we get 6 to the 0 minus 7 to the 0 over 4 times 0. But that's going to be 1 minus 1 over 0. Not a 1. It's a 0 over 0. Oh, well, that I recognize as an indeterminate form. Okay? And one option we have for dealing with indeterminate forms, especially if the expression you're working with is made up of very nice functions, is to use L'Hopital's rule and differentiate the top and bottom, because we got 0 over 0 here. So that's exactly what I think we're going to do. Is it the only option? Well, there might be other things, but generally when I see exponentials mixed with polynomials, I start to think maybe something like L'Hopital's would be best. Okay. So we'll differentiate the top. What's the derivative of 6 to the x? Well, we know that's 6 to the x ln 6, minus the derivative of 7 to the x, which is 7 to the x ln 7, and differentiating the bottom, 4x goes to 4. Now this gives me hope, because now I know when I plug in x equals 0, I'm not going to get division by 0. So there's not going to be that issue. So we can, this should now be continuous at 0. We can just plug in 6 to the 0 ln 6 minus 7 to the 0 ln 7 all over 4. Well, as we saw before, 6 to the 0 and 7 to the 0, those are just 1. So we get that the value of this limit should be ln 6 minus ln 7 all over 4. So that's perfectly fine, acceptable answer. I like it. I would probably leave my answer like that, but if you want to practice your knowledge of logarithms, a difference of two logarithms can turn into a division inside the logarithm. So you definitely write your answer like that. And while we're thinking about it, we could also write this as 1/4 ln 6 over 7. And if we've got something multiplying outside of our logarithm, you can bring it inside as a power. Or in this case, to the power 1/4 would be the root, so 4th root of 6 over 7. Sort of depends on how you want to write your answer and what you might be using it for. Personally, I think the first answer is probably the cleanest, nicest looking. I'm not a fan of roots and things like that, or fractions inside my fractions. But these other expressions, perfectly acceptable, and they might have their uses depending on whether or not there was more to this question and more to do with this function. But either way, we got our answer thanks to L'Hopital's rule.